Are you going to keep sniffling the entire goddamn show, Patrick?
That fresh air. Although it's like hard to figure out what month we're in because of this weather.
It was hailing yesterday.
Sleeting. I think it was sleeting.
Mhm.
Would you classify this as sleeting?
Sleeting. They're like small little pebbles.
My God.
Thank you for that clarification.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I know. And for us to scare you.
Yeah.
We just put up our first live video on
my
Facebook.
God.
Oh, my God. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Geekcast podcast. My name is Greg St. Clair.
Dan Whitehead.
Patrick Howard, and I'm
It's the
back.
Patrick's back. And this
Did
is-
anyone miss him? Raise your hand if you missed him. Well, we know where Greg stands. Because me and Patrick are raising. You know, you're like, I can put this down now. Patrick, you raising your hand is like a politician voting for themselves.
No, it's like liking your own Facebook status or Instagram picture.
Yes, that's even better.
There you go.
That's what you just did.
This
You
is
just liked
episode
your own
28
I
of the
missed being
Geekcast
here.
podcast. It's going to be a relatively short episode today.
post. Watch it be our longest episode now.
We said that
we've
one
done
time,
before,
and
yeah.
then we went on a 45-minute rant of what DC needs to do with their
Well,
cinematic universe.
I mean, we weren't wrong, so.
We weren't wrong. But we really Gotham was not on this week.
Nope, nor there was Flash.
Neither was Flash.
We don't watch
We
Supergirl.
We did see Arrow. We saw that, and we did not see Legends. Dan and I went to the school play. I think Patrick was jerking off.
Yep. We could talk about the school play, actually.
Yeah, we can talk about this. We'll talk about it. But yeah, we're pretty much talking about Arrow today. Maybe some other DC related things, and we got picks of the week for you. Patrick, pick of the week.
So my pick of the week is The Great Escape, which has Steve McQueen, James Gardner. It's James Gardner, Richard Attenborough, like a whole slew of famous actors like from the '60s.
Did you say Steve McQueen?
Yeah, Steve McQueen.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
And it's about The Great Escape is about these group of World War II prisoners who try to plan this great escape from this Nazi war camp. And I haven't finished it yet because actually it's like 2 hours and 51 minutes long.
Well, shit.
Yeah, I know it's really long, and I guess so far that's my only criticism is that I don't think it needs to be too long, but I need to see how it ends.
Go tell Steve McQueen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell him that. Tell it to his grave.
Wow. Just got really sensitive.
But
Rick from Pawn Stars is gonna come up here and beat your ass.
right.
Yeah, he loves
It's
Steve
like his
McQueen, right?
because of him, I like bought the movie Bullet, and I was like, "This is your favorite movie. This is the greatest chase scene you think's ever been like a part of cinematic like the world. Like, are you
No
kidding
good?
me? Nah, not good. Continue. Sorry.
Okay. But the best part of the movie is just the chemistry between everyone in the cast, and I definitely
cute.
recommend it. It's lighthearted, it's funny.
Yeah, no, that's definitely one of my dad's favorite movies, and I remember watching that as a kid growing up too. So
Can't comment. Never saw it.
We should.
Maybe someday.
The conscious focus.
Yeah, the magic conch.
Yeah.
Nothing. Victory screech. Dan.
Oh, okay. So mine is the great and powerful show of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Debatable.
Well, you know what? So is Scrubs.
It is. I agree that it's debatable.
Oh,
I do.
finally.
What do you mean finally?
I don't know. You kind of force it on some people sometimes.
I don't force it on people. I highly
You
recommend
just
it.
forced it on Dan.
I didn't force it. I highly recommended it.
Pretty sure you would come in my room and you're like, "Did you watch it? Why aren't you watching it?"
Yeah, yeah. When you were like in the middle of watching it and you would watch things in between, not when you haven't
Well, you
watched
know why?
it yet.
Because I'm rock and roll and I'm a free spirit, and if I want to mix it
I
up,
am
stuff,
rock and roll.
yes.
You hear that, Dave Grohl? Dan's
Hey,
trying to take your title
Listen, one day we will meet and he will agree. So, because we're best friends. Maybe if I keep saying it, it'll happen. Dave Grohl and I are best friends.
Nope.
All right, that's it. Just once a show.
here. What's the show?
Yeah.
Make sure you tag him in it.
Yeah, hashtag Dave Grohl. So anyway, mine is Sunny, and I just finally finished season 10, 11. And they just got some good news, which, I mean, going into season 11, they knew that they were approved through 12, which was already a big step because most shows don't even make it that far. Then they just found out they're approved till season 14, which is huge.
That's nuts.
Because this was a show that was filmed for like $300 on like a camcorder, the pilot. Obviously, the pilot is not what you see now, but it's they took those mindsets and like style of filming and just used better equipment, a little bit better of equipment. And so it kind of just shows you that if you kind of just work hard with it and find the right people and kind of believe in something, even if most people don't, because it was written off after season 1. They were just going to cancel it and whatever.
Right.
But FX president saw something in it and he really liked it, and he's like, let's do one more season, and we're going to add my friend Danny DeVito, who everyone should know who Danny DeVito is, and he'll be a guest star on most of the season or whatever, and we'll see what happens. And of course, the ratings were huge the second season because Danny DeVito happened to also be a fan of it and has been there ever since, and it's been making people laugh, whatever. It's for 11 years. And so that's why I like it. There's a lot of reasons I like it, but that's one of the main reasons. It's just how they started with almost nothing and just this dinky little one-room like idea and whatever, and now it made it into one of the longest-running television shows.
The story of how it is today is interesting. I've watched the first 6 episodes. So I think it was the last episode I saw was the one where they find out that the grandfather used to be like a Nazi soldier.
That's a good one.
It's funny, but like that was like the last one I watched just because I found better things to do.
Pop-Pop's Nazi. And Charlie puts on the Nazi uniform and it's like wearing it. It's yeah, I mean, and the other thing that's good about the show is they're very good at bringing back like old jokes and like old things and references and stuff. So like they have a lot of reoccurring characters that you may not have seen since like the 3rd season, and like they'll just come back and be like, oh, this is where we left off with them. Like, let's continue that storyline or whatever. Like Rickety Cricket and
Cricket's funny. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love
the waitress and like things like that, where they're not in every episode, obviously, but when they're there, again, it's picking them right up where they left off, or the hatred is still there and whatever. And they're just horrible, horrible people, so it makes me feel better about myself. And yeah,
they're kind of like escapism characters where they say things that you shouldn't because you abide by morale.
But you would love to say.
But like you imagine, like you just put yourselves into them, like, oh God, thank you for saying that. I've always wanted to say that.
Right, like if only I could say something like that. Though, if I had my choice, I would only want to hang out with Charlie or Frank too. But of the main 4, I always kind of put Danny DeVito's character as like a separate thing because he wasn't an original one. So of the 4 main ones, though, yeah, definitely Charlie because he seems the nicest.
Yeah, if I were to spend like a day with Dennis, I would beat the shit out of him within a minute.
And I would want to kill Dee because she just drives me nuts. Like her just voice, her whole being is just annoying. And Mac is okay. Mac's funny, but like he just seems like he'd get on my nerves too. But Charlie just cracks me up. How stupid he is and like his voice and just gets me. But yeah, so that's
really gets the people going.
Yeah, that's all I had to say about that. But Greg,
cool. So my pick of the week, this past Saturday, Stevenson here, we had a food truck rally, which was awesome. There's like 1,000 people that showed up. Some of the food trucks actually sold out of food. Wildly successful event, but there was a band there called Brent and Company, and their band consists of the lead singer Brent, who also plays guitar. There is a bass guitarist. There is a drum drummer, who just has a bass drum, a snare drum, a hi-hat, and a ride. And they also have a saxophone player, which is really cool. So they're kind of like a ska band in a way, but not like totally ska. Do you guys know what ska is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Reggae rockish.
Yeah.
Stuff.
It's kind of like that. But
is scat is where it's like in
not scat, ska.
I know, but I'm trying to make the distinction.
Scats is what Louis Armstrong did to save his career.
Scat would be like scuba da bop bop, scuba da bop. Yeah.
Wait, how does that go?
Kind of I'm not very good at it, obviously, but that was a very horrible example.
Yeah, that was a good
Steven Tyler does it.
It's kind of like a softer, more soulful version of like a ska genre, and they're really cool. I believe their albums are on iTunes. I highly recommend it.
You have your phone in your hand or near your hand that you could look it up.
Okay, but I mean, they don't just do college concerts. They had a gig at a wedding later that day, so you can also book them. If you're in the greater Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania area, you can go ahead and do that. And I am stalling, so I can go ahead and look up to see if they are. They're not on iTunes.
Liar.
I'm a liar. Go on YouTube. I'm sure they're on YouTube. Or, buy it on their website.
They might be on SoundCloud.
Maybe. Or Spotify or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or Google Play.
Maybe not recommend any things anymore since you don't seem to be right.
I said I believe. I didn't say, yes, they're definitely on iTunes.
You know who else believed?
Hmm?
You know who else believed?
Who else
Jesus
believed?
Christ.
Jesus followers.
Yeah, what happened?
That's for you to decide.
That's for your own interpretation.
So this past week we saw Arrow. And Dan, can you give a review before we start officially?
You don't want Patrick to do it?
Patrick doesn't remember what he
That's right.
ate
That's right.
2 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm. He didn't eat 2 minutes ago.
Whatever.
But I know what you're saying.
He probably ate a bug. Just flew into his mouth. Was like, oh, thank
Just
God.
like Belloc and
Thank God I
Raiders.
needed lunch for the day.
You get that long tongue.
So much better than cat food.
I never ate cat food. Dick.
He's starting rumors.
It's been a rumor.
No. All right. So, ahem. So on this episode this week, punch him right in the face. I'll do another live video. We just have so many live videos. But Arrow this week found the Team Arrow had the totem that Dark used to get his powers. However, it was broken, and then they reassembled it, so it's all like cracked and in pieces. But it's it's missing one, which I didn't notice at first, and I don't think that was the intention. Was for you to notice. And Andy ends up deciding he's going to help them, Andy Diggle, and they end up trying to stop some truck of stuff happening. I don't remember that part too much. And it ends up being really easy to stop them. And it turns out that at the same time that was happening, the people that didn't go out on this mission were attacked by Malcolm Merlin's people. He still had his little connections with the League of Assassins. Ooh. And they end up stealing the idol and whatever. And then when they bring it to Dark in jail, he's like, it's not going to work. It's missing this gem or whatever. And so they end up, the whole time, of course, Oliver does not trust Andy Diggle. And I think most people didn't, except John Diggle. He, of course, was like, no, he's fine. He's all changed now and everything. He's good. And so Arrow ends up confronting him in John Diggle's house and breaks a column in his house and all this stuff. And it's like, where's the peace? And
Where is it?
Where's the drugs going? I watched that Batman Begins the other day. It was yesterday. And when that part came up, all I kept thinking of was the Pete Holmes video. Where are the drugs going?
silly drugs.
He's probably my favorite Batman.
Pete Holmes. He just captures the character and just
You heard it here first. Pete Holmes is the best Batman.
Please give him a show back.
That's Greg's theory or thought. Anyway, so long story short, he ends up getting the piece, of course, and he gets his powers back, and he's leading this escape through jail because he has his powers and nothing can stop him. And Team Arrow swoops in, and they're fighting, and he freezes them up, or he kind of pauses them, right?
He uses the Force.
Force stops them or something, and somehow Green Arrow is able to break free enough to kind of pull a bow or pull an arrow back, and he shoots it. And he, Dark stops it and kind of brings it to himself, and then turns to Black Canary. I guess spoilers here. Black Canary, and was like, "Hey, send your dad a message." And then, bam, stabs her, and she starts bleeding out. And then he's like, "Peace," and leaves. So he's free. He's got his powers back, and now they're dealing with the fact that Laurel is dying. They bring her to the hospital. She has this nice moment with Oliver. You may not love me, but I always will love you, and then you have to promise me something. And then it cuts to outside, and you see them talking, but you can't hear them. And then, of course, the next scene, she's in a seizure, and she dies. And that's how the episode ends. Everybody's sad, and that's it.
All right.
That was a really rough synopsis.
No, I got the point across. Mainly just know that Andy betrayed and Laurel's dead.
Oh, I
yeah,
forgot
that
that,
too.
right. He turns out he was bad, and now John is dealing with his guilt.
Yeah, which we definitely saw coming.
Mm-hmm.
But Yeah, so that's pretty much all I really need to know about the episode. So I wasn't sad when I just say I wasn't sad. I wasn't as emotional as I think that the writers wanted me to be.
Yeah, I think none of us were really.
At the end of this episode. Like we all, like Dan recently read something like right before the show that was like Laurel's the one who dies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you texted me about that. It made sense,
Basically read a spoiler article and spoiled it for me and Patrick.
Well, I brought it up after reading this article. I kind of brought it up because here's what I thought was going to happen. I thought that it was going to go down where, yes, it was Laurel that died, right? And then if I didn't tell you guys, oh, this is what I'm thinking, you'd be like, fuck you, you thought it was the baby mama, and blah, 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 and like, you didn't think this. And I'd be like, this time I had text proof. I'd be like, look, before the episode, I told you, I thought it was Laurel. So, like, that's why I sent it to you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wiggle hands. And and so.
Is that what those are called?
I don't know. The Wiggles do it, and their hands.
Wiggle.
Hands. I don't know. Do you know who the Wiggles are?
Fruit salad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony Wiggle.
Yummy.
And other Wiggles. And that reminds me of something I said yesterday, but don't have time for that. So, yeah, I wasn't. And when I was reading the article, I thought it was going to be like one of those articles that said, like, reasons why we think it's Laurel, not, hey, it is Laurel. So I'm reading it, and then I, like, scroll in, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I could see this being Laurel. And then as it's scrolling up, it's just a picture of the gravestone. It says Dinah Laurel Lance. And I was like, well, I guess I know who does here. So, and then, of course, I had to play it off like I didn't know. And then halfway through the episode, I was like, yeah, so I read this article. I'm pretty much, it's going to be Laurel.
It wasn't halfway. It was like the beginning of the episode.
I think he told us like after.
Maybe
It was
the
like
first
after she got
commercial.
stabbed. I thought.
No, it was like the first
Really?
commercial
Okay.
he told us.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
was early.
I knew I waited at least a little bit, and then I was like, yeah, so I did.
I mean, by that point, it was kind of telegraphed. So
Yeah.
we're like, okay, that's
they were setting it up hard.
Yeah, the entire episode definitely was a heavy focus on Laurel. There was kind of a focus on Andy where I thought my theory was still right. And there was no mention of the baby mama whatsoever, so Dan was wrong.
Actually, according to my text
actual
through,
evidence.
that's why I was like, let me send it to two of them because I was like, Greg's gonna like delete it or something, or, like ignore it. I was thinking way too much into it, so I was like, I'm gonna also tell
Like I
Patrick
can't have
my theory.
Dan have this one. I just can't.
Yeah, he can't. And then, but I'd be like, but I have it on my phone. He'd be like, but I don't have it on mine. So I was
But
like,
no, so like it was really. I think for the beginning predictions of when we first knew that somebody was going to die at the end of the season, that Laurel was not the number one character everybody thought.
Mm-mm.
People thought Felicity. People thought, we found out that wasn't true. People thought John. People thought Quentin. People thought Malcolm. People thought Thea. But I mean, Laurel was on that list, but I remember seeing it was like a poll. She might have been like at 8%. Not a very high percentage of who people thought was going to die.
I thought we would have saw Quentin go before Laurel.
Which I would have cried for Quentin.
Because honestly, yeah, he's
grown. This is the best character development he's had in the entire series.
You know, he's like brushed against death like in season 2 so many times that like,
Mhm.
okay, might as well just.
Well,
like,
there was that thing like at the end of season 2 where he has like a heart attack or something, and when they come
yeah,
back
there's
to
like he's
season
poisoned
3,
and stuff.
they
yeah.
like never address it.
They do address it in like the first episode. Like that's it.
Oh, okay, because it seems like they just never brought it up again.
They do address it, but yeah, Laurel was really a huge focus, and I think it's because that nobody was really that concerned that Laurel was going to die,
Mm-hmm.
and she did. And me and Patrick both have the same thought that she's not really dead.
No.
The thing where she tells Oliver, "You just have to promise me something." Thought was all right. Let me fake my death. So Dark thinks that he's hurt us, and then when we got him on the ropes, Canary cry, "I'm coming back in here. I'm actually going to like do something with my character." But we're reading all these articles, and Dan was showing me stuff because I was in denial that like Berlanti talking about Laurel being officially dead, and he just showed me an article yesterday about somebody who's going to be the new Black Canary,
At least for the
Right,
next
yeah.
episode.
at least for the next episode. And who's this person? You want to talk about it?
Is she like a copycat or something like that? Or
Yeah, it's probably going to be some kind of copycat. Her name.
There was a rumor that
Is-
Felicity was going to be Black Canary. I saw that somewhere, and I texted Dan the article, And he's like, God, I hope not. And I pretty much said, if Felicity becomes the Black Canary, I'm probably going to stop watching Arrow. Because that is just ridiculous.
That's kind of jumping. That's jumping the shark.
It makes no sense.
Jumping the shark.
Good one.
Some TV jargon for you there.
There you go.
Her name is Madison McLaughlin.
McLaughlin?
Is that how you say it? McLaughlin? Yeah. And she's 20. She lives in... No, just kidding. Just like giving her personal information. Yeah, and she's supposedly going to be some kind of copycat canary person.
Okay.
But Laurel's in it. She's in the next episode because she plays a dead body. And then I think they're also doing a bunch of flashbacks and stuff.
Like a memoriam kind of.
But Stephen Amell practically confirmed it because he sent out a tweet where he goes, "Oh, welcome Madison McLaughlin to the Arrow family, playing Redoract and Redoract or something like that." Like that was his way of like not spoiling it or whatever. So,
if it's a Black Canary, I don't like it.
Unless it's she's playing a young Laurel.
What if it's Artemis? I mean, it's another Archer, and Dan mentioned we're talking earlier today. They could bring back Huntress, but
I'd rather see how Huntress come back.
And I was like, another Archer, and we were like, yeah, but like, I think Artemis could be interesting.
Which I thought was what they were going to go with Thea, but then they kind of turned into a Speedy thing. Which I love Thea as the sidekick.
Yeah, no, she's great.
I think she's
awesome.
Perfect. I mean, I liked Colton Hayes. I like his character Roy and stuff like that.
Her story is just more interesting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because they misused. Obviously, season 3 is a big mess, and so I think he got a short end of the stick kind of a thing, and I think he was a little underused.
Yeah.
Or / misused. But Thea's storyline has always been pretty solid.
But yeah, like I really don't want another Black Canary.
And
unless for some reason it was Sarah, but even then, I like her role on Legends.
Yeah,
I'm fine with her being White Canary.
Where she is.
And to have another one, and I researched today, the only person who's ever been the Black Canary has been Dinah Lance. Dinah Laurel Lance, Dinah Drake Lance, whatever. It's always been a Lance.
Because when we refill that role, it just kind of diminishes her death. Because we're supposed to feel like, okay, there's something missing in this big picture of the
exactly. It's
Arrow
like,
family.
All right, somebody dies, they just pick up the mantle.
And it's not like a character like Felicity where she doesn't have to be a part of the comics, and you can just establish her from scratch. Like they're already taking this character, the Black Canary, and giving it to somebody else.
They already changed it a big way as far as like not having her be with Oliver, and they had no plans, even if they had her live, to have them be together. They said they did their story in season 1 and like that was it. So that's already a big change. So to have it, she dies and then now somebody else is going to pick up the mantle of. It's not like Batman where again I was watching Batman Begins yesterday and he was saying like his whole thing was as a man himself he can be killed, right? But as a symbol like he'll last or whatever. And so I don't think that works very well for Green Arrow, for Black Canary, for all that stuff. It works for Batman as being like this symbol of fear and all that stuff. But Black Canary is not a symbol. She's just her. Like she's the Lance, Sarah or Laurel. Well, it was Sarah for this incarnation because of her like had to do with the League of Assassins, and then Laurel took it up in honor of her sister.
Right.
So if somebody else was to take it up, it would just be. There's no heart behind it. There's no reason behind it, I think.
Yeah. I mean, they could spin as like, oh, like Laurel like did this for me as ADA and all this other stuff. But like at the same time, it's just why? Which like, you already, and I'm going to come at the writers here. You already screwed up Laurel Lance's character. You already made her character unenjoyable to the audience because we joke about it all the time on the show that her character just seems to do nothing and just be there. Now, again, recently the past couple episodes, she started to make significant contributions to the team, but then you go ahead and kill her off.
It was just probably just for that.
And what faith do you have that you can recreate this whole character from scratch and make us believe that she truly belongs in this universe when clearly this character has not been a part of this universe if it is a Black Canary?
Well, I think that their mistake was bringing Sarah back from the dead.
Which time?
The first time.
Okay.
Like when she comes back as Black Canary, because they built her up so much as being so cool and like, oh, she trained with League of Assassins and like all this kind of stuff and she was kicking butt and whatever. And so I feel like a sneeze is coming on. So when you bring Laurel in, there was like, we already like Sarah though. Like, can't we just have Sarah?
That's what I'm saying. They already screwed up Laurel. Like
So,
Laurel's supposed to be this badass, cool character.
I wonder how different she would have been had we not seen, like, had Sarah just died in the ship and that was it and that was done. She never came back. And Laurel wants to become the canary, wants to train, and maybe she goes off and trains.
Maybe, she's not getting
assassins
the same
and comes
fulfillment as assistant DA, and she like takes matters in her own hands.
Well,
Right.
this would have been pre-drug use Laurel. This would have been Laurel just saw this traumatic thing happen to her beloved fiance at the time, right? When they engaged, or they
No,
just boyfriend.
No, they're just
boyfriend,
boyfriend.
girlfriend.
Sees Tommy die. Tommy's dead. All this crazy shit happens at the end of season 1. Instead of the response of her, drinking a lot and doing drugs, she goes off and just travels.
Right.
She goes off and travels. All of a sudden, runs in the League of Assassins, trains in the League of Assassins, comes back in season 3, end of season 2, and it's like, oh shit, this is the real deal. Holy crap! If we can go back in time, I would so love that story arc.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really good. That'd be
I am
pretty
so
solid.
smart. Oh my god, I'm amazing.
Smart. We came up with that as a unit.
Yes.
You heard it. You can go back
Share.
and listen. You were coming up with that. I suggested it.
But no. Well, like you suggested, it's only how it goes actually with us. You suggest something, I just go with it.
Right, because I said, if we didn't have Sarah and we had Laurel go off and
So I just
train,
went with
and
it.
then you're like, yes, he went off and trained, that would be sick. And it's like, yeah.
Do I suck? That would be thick.
No, but like that was kind of like what. That's pretty much how that happens. Whereas I'll say it, and then you'll say the same
Expand on
thing again in like a slightly different way, and then add a little bit to it. And that's how our ideas go.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
But no, like that would have been way more interesting. But instead, they made her an alcoholic, and her character just did not become like, you had to bring her character back from being this kind of self-deprecating, selfish, pathetic person to her being a hero again. And in some ways you did, but I feel like I can speak for majority of the viewers here that the emotion was not there with her when she was finally killed.
Another way that they could have had it, where they kind of keep Sarah and Aaron a little bit, is maybe they bring Katie Loitz back and like use her. Obviously, they change actresses from season 1 to season 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
But use her in like flashbacks, and maybe we see her. Laurel gives her like the leather jacket as a gift or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then cut to like present day when she's like deciding to take the matters into her own hands. She like stumbles upon it in like a box of like shit from Sarah's, and like kind of like, I'm gonna wear this in her honor kind of a thing, and like uses that as part of the costume, and the nickname came from like when they were younger or something like that, right? And like, oh, Black Canary, I don't know, or even Canary.
Well, Quentin like confirmed that or something like that. That's why.
Something like, but
I thought there was a canary thing.
Yeah, they could make
really
it.
I think they
explain
had
why,
one.
yeah.
Something like they sing like
Like in season
canaries
2
or
or something
something.
like
I don't know. Whatever. They could have played it off like that's where the name comes from. So it was all in honor of her sister, but they didn't have to bring the sister back necessarily.
Right.
And I think that would have made us enjoy Laurel that much more, and we would have been more upset by her loss.
Yeah. I mean, of course, retrospectively, everybody sounds like a genius, but we can't go back and change it. This is what we're dealing with right now. So as far as the future goes, they have this new girl that they're casting. She could be Black Canary. She can be Artemis.
Now, here's the thing, side note, is and we've talked about this before, where the writers have kind of screwed themselves, is introducing time travel. Because now that Laurel's dead, but then we have the Flash, Oliver could just call him up and say, hey, do you mind just running back in time and just catching the arrow or something? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many times... people are going to keep asking, like, why doesn't Barry just run back in time?
I mean, that's just the thing with time travel.
To have him at the funeral insinuates that Oliver wants Barry to do something.
It could I don't know. I think it could be just like, hey, I was friends with her, like we worked together before. I'm coming to pay her my respects.
But I still feel like that Oliver could ask him to do something.
He could.
And they're probably gonna like.
He is in this next episode. So.
They might do a cop out where like, no, I shouldn't.
Well,
mess with
next
time
episode
travel.
next week.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Flash is this week and Arrow's next week.
Right. Well, whenever it comes back, Arrow. He's in Arrow's episode. But yeah, you're right. It could be just no. I've messed with time travel enough.
They're gonna pull that. I guarantee you they're probably gonna pull that.
Although Oliver may not want it.
That's also true. I could see Barry offering his services, but Oliver's like, no, I need to handle this myself.
Yeah.
I could see that. But yeah, it's just to defeat Dark. I don't know, like how they're gonna do it. The Idol's back. They can't call back Vixen. They could.
Constantine, no.
Constantine's literally in hell.
That's right.
But they could bring him back. Like
I don't know.
I would like to
Magic
see
is gonna have to be
Constantine
used, I think.
come back and help them. I think that'd be cool.
But in all seriousness, I have no idea how they're gonna.
They just started today filming the season finale, and it's called. Hold on, I gotta look it up because it had a unique name for it.
Yeah. Just because the Idol's back, you could bring back Vixen, you could bring back Constantine, you could use Barry, but your spirit's shooken up, and just the fact that again he's magic and they couldn't beat him before with his idol.
Yeah, they keep.
So how are they going to do it?
I mean, that's what's exciting.
Malcolm's not on their team anymore.
He was never really on their team.
Not necessarily, but he would have been willing to help at the time, I'm sure. But now he's like, nah, fuck Oliver.
Yeah.
And he just all of a sudden, without explanation, has that robotic hand.
I thought he had something.
He was just
I
wearing
remember
like
them
a
showing that. Yeah.
fake robotic hand.
I thought they explained that, didn't they?
I can't remember.
Chisholm. SCHISM? Schism?
Schism, right?
Schism. Yeah.
That's the season finale episode that they just started filming today. Today's the 8th?
Today is the 8th.
Yeah. Oh, no, today's the 10th, so 2 days ago. So
10th.
they're in the process of filming it then.
And schism means a division
Oh, yeah.
or disunion, especially into mutually opposed parties.
Mhm.
Okay, so
So maybe they're going to split the team.
Yeah, I was gonna say a team breakup.
oh, I guess. Oh no!
And then season 5, they
I could
it
see-
time jumps maybe.
I can see Diggle quitting.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, he just found out his brother was alive, and
He would make the most sense.
put all this trust in him, and then he betrayed him, and the whole thing with Lila, and they still got a kid.
Because Thea's gonna stick with Oliver.
I
yeah.
could see Diggle just being like,
Fuck it.
So it would be
no.
Thea and Oliver probably, and Felicity and Diggle.
Mhm.
Because I don't think Felicity's going to come back.
You know what I would really love? I was just thinking about this when you mentioned Roy. So I would love for a spin-off show,
Mm-hmm.
but also have Nightwing be a part of it.
What would they do? Like Roy and Nightwing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wish they did something with the Teen Titans. I thought that they were on that TNT
Well,
thing.
that would
as
kind of be
well.
like a Young Justice type thing if it was live action. But again, there's strong rumors that season 3 of Young Justice is being created on Netflix, which is awesome. But I don't know. I like to see more Roy. I would. I like to see what Roy's doing just by himself wherever he's at.
Even if it was like
I feel like with Nightwing they would feel
Web
the
series
need
or
to
something.
reference Batman.
I mean, I'm sure they could reference Batman. They reference
Yeah.
They reference Superman and Supergirl.
yeah.
So I think that's no problem. But the problem is if that Eastwood's character in Suicide Squad truly is Dick Grayson Nightwing, they're not going to do that in the TV universe.
Mm-hmm. Although I was just talking about it when we were setting up and set that if they continue with this multiverse and they establish it in the movies, there's no reason why they can't have a Batman on TV, a Superman on TV, because we know obviously with Gotham there's versions of these characters on TV. We're going to have Ben McKenzie playing Commissioner Gordon, and we're going to have
J.K. Simmons
playing Commissioner Gordon, and I'm fine with it. There's no I don't mind seeing two different superheroes. That's what I thought was going to happen with watching the Nolan Batman movies and Ben Affleck movies. And then I'm watching them last night, and I'm like, no, I still enjoy them just as much. Or I just watched Begins, but I didn't think of it as like, no, he's not Batman
I don't
anymore.
know
I
if
can't
the
watch
studio
this.
feels like it's just going to confuse the general audience too much.
Probably the general audience, but I think the people that are watching both things are not the general audience.
Because that'd be a big deal. They have two current ongoing Batmans at the same time.
Yeah,
on
and they
television
could be
once
very different state. Like they could be a younger Batman or like a
Batman
maybe
Beyond. I don't know,
5
something
years
like that.
into Batman and not 20 years into
I
Batman.
also don't understand why you can't do it like the like what they do with True Detective or Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
How just like a 10 or like an Agent Carter, where it's like a 10-episode miniseries of what's going on in the meantime between all those movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually one of Marvel's strongest assets they have, is that as a moviegoer, you're like, oh, I wonder what happens in between all this time. And at the beginning of the movies, they kind of give you like a synopsis of what's been going on, but you don't really get the full picture. With shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter, you're getting that in between time of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
And
Carter's
Carter's in the
yeah.
past,
So,
but like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like
Yeah.
there's already articles about how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are preparing for the Civil War to happen, which they're doing in the show right now. That's really, really cool. We
Yeah.
don't have that type of enjoyment in the DC universe. I think that's one thing that DC struggles with, is that they have all these great characters, but there's so many different versions of every single character. There's really only one version of Peter Parker. There's really only one version of Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk. You know what I mean?
Right.
But for like DC, we have all these different Batmans. We have the Gotham. We have the Christopher Nolan Batmans. Now we have this Batfleck Batman. For Supermans, we've been dealing with so many Supermans for all this time. And I think and Flashes. We have two Flashes right now. One that's really great is Grant Gustin, and two, we're still on the fence with Ezra Miller. There's so many different characters. It's really hard for them to solidify which story arc they do. And I think that's also one of the problems with DC fans, is that we're so diversified in our character arcs in this universe that people interpret the characters in their own ways that they've been given to us, but that it's not all the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's my little rant about
That's
DC.
and that's what I'm
needs to
saying
step
is-
up.
So you said with the Flash, we have Grant Gustin, we have Ezra Miller. Now, obviously, we really like Grant Gustin
Yeah.
and enjoy his version of it, but we're still probably going to go see Ezra Miller. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
as far as the Justice League go, we don't have a choice. So if you see Justice League, that's it. He's the Flash. We don't, our opinions clearly don't matter. So that's the one thing with studios when they're making these franchise movies, is they make it seem, or they try to make it seem like they take like the audience's opinions into like effect,
Consideration,
or
yeah.
consideration. Yeah. And I don't think they do very much, because if they were really listening to like what the fans want, I think a majority of them would say we want Grant Gustin as the Flash. Now, there's probably these fanboys out there that say, no, he's not Flash. He sucks as Flash. He's too like lighthearted, blah blah blah, and he won't fit. But I think you have enough of an audience that will think that it works. And if he doesn't work as a Flash, multiverse, he's from a different Earth, and you get rid of him, done. And you just don't have your Flash in that.
Yeah, I mean, what they could do is what they do in the Teen Titans comics is actually the Kid Flash character is from the future, but he doesn't remember he's totally from the future, and you find that out later in the series.
Yeah,
Didn't we?
Impulse.
I show you that article, like the kid from Smallville. I don't know if that was like the fake thing or something. Remember the kid that played like Bart Allen is going to come back and reprise his role, but for Flash,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna. So it would be Barry's son, but he's gonna be from the future and like comes back.
I think it's great grandson. It's
Like in
his
Young
son,
Justice,
isn't
it was his great grandson.
It's like great grandson or grandson.
Bart Allen?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
positive.
I thought his son was the Flash too.
Nope. I didn't even know he had a son, to be honest with you.
I'm just going by
Iris
Young
and,
Justice when he came
him.
in.
Yeah, let me see. Bart Allen.
Oh, I can't do that. We're gonna get huge copyright infringement if I do that.
What?
The theme from Jeopardy.
Oh.
Oh man, that guy makes so much money. That
He's
guy
dead.
and the dude who owns
Alex Trebek.
No. The dude who owns the rights to Happy Birthday are assholes. The guy who owns the rights to the Happy Birthday song is an asshole.
Okay. Bartholomew Henry Bart Allen II. His parents' partnership, Barry Allen, Wally West, Jay Garrick, is a fictional. He was Impulse, and then he became known as the Kid Flash. He's the fourth hero to assume the identity of the Flash. So that means Jay Garrick, Barry Allen, Wally West, and him. So he's his son.
Mm-hmm.
You said grand.
That doesn't mean he's his son.
His parental grandmother is Iris West. Oh, okay, so it's his grandson then.
Like
Not
we said.
you said great grandson.
Then I said either grandson or great grandson.
I thought it was his son.
I knew he wasn't his son though.
Huh, interesting. I thought it was his son.
No.
Yeah.
Don't say no. You weren't part of this.
No,
No, it's part of- yeah,
you
You were too distracted with your
All
own.
right, Beaker, chill out. But yeah, no, that's really interesting though. That's really interesting.
I don't know if
But
that's a true thing.
is it going to be the same character from Smallville? Like, oh, in my universe we have a Superman, named Tom Welling. Like, is it going to be stuff
Named
like
Tom Welling.
Is it going to be
I don't
stuff
know.
like that?
I don't know. Let me look. I'll look
Oh,
into it.
we have our own Green Arrow, and he looks like a comic book character.
Yeah, with his plastic zip-up hoodie.
Yeah, this short episode is turned into another long episode.
It's almost 40 minutes.
So, you guys, this is what happens when, there's only one thing to talk about, but we can really expand it into this long thing. This is why we go to college, because we're really good BSers.
Mm-hmm.
But even so, all this stuff is, like, super important of what the heck the DC universe is even doing.
Get your shit together, DC.
Yeah.
For realsies.
Oh, here it is. Bart Allen.
Alan.
Okay, it says nothing about the Flash. I have a feeling it probably wasn't real, but I'm not ruling it out either, so we'll see.
No, that's interesting that they're bringing all these. They're bringing in Jay. They're bringing in Barry. Wally is imminent, and they're bringing in Bart. Like it's crazy all these different speedsters they're bringing into the show.
Well, the Flash this week is Zoom like captures Wally, I think.
Oh, I don't even care. I heard what you said, but that's not what I owed at. What I owed at is that Bart Allen is from the future,
Mm-hmm.
from the Vandal Savage apocalyptic future.
You think he'll be on Legends?
He could be, because they're going back into the future to.
Well, the episode we missed this week was the future, which I heard was one of the worst episodes of the season.
Really, it looked good.
Very hit or miss for me.
But
Legends.
isn't next week we're seeing Jonah Hex?
I think so. I hope so. I've been waiting for Jonah Hex for a
But
while.
yes, they can bring a speedster into this Legends universe, as far as the future goes. If Bart is truly from the future and they're sticking with the comics, it could happen, which could be very interesting. I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else?
Rogue One trailer.
Rip to Laurel. Rest in peace,
Yeah.
Laurel.
R.I.P. Laurel Lance, Katie Cassidy.
We will see. Oh, will she be on Flash Earth 2? She's playing a Black Siren.
Interesting. She will be missed. As much as we rip on Laurel throughout the show.
She's been there since the
She's
beginning.
been since the beginning. She's always been a true friend to Oliver. She definitely will be missed as a character.
Mm-hmm. And Katie Cassidy's nice to look at. So
Yeah, she's super hot.
Yep.
Call me.
she was in Taken.
Yeah,
That's
she was
right.
a
She's
friend.
the friend that
She
doesn't
always
make
forget
it.
That, yeah.
Yeah.
She's also in. She's in New Girl for an episode too.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah, Rogue One trailer.
Yes.
So this past week, the Rogue One Star Wars trailer dropped. Patrick, do you think you can give us a summary of kind of the movie and what's going to happen?
I sure can.
You sure?
All right. It's
course
only
I can.
3 minutes, or it's like a minute and a half.
It's like,
so.
no, it's the end.
blah, blah, blah.
So yeah, for those who are kind of confused of where Rogue One is going to be in this new Star Wars timeline, Rogue One takes place before Episode 4, so when Luke's journey starts, and it's about the team that snuck onto the Death Star and stole its plans, like its blueprints, and then gave it to the rebellion, and they used that to destroy it in Episode 4.
Yeah, I even before the trailer, I had a few little issues with it. Well, one actually came up with the trailer. A lot of the spin-offs they're doing so far just seem like kind of money grabs, because with Rogue One, it kind of comes down to like, do we need all of that information, or can we have things just left up to chance or mystery?
It's funny, like lately I've been in between. Like, it's like, okay, I don't mind if they don't do it; they just kind of leave it up to your imagination of how this one really went down. But
yeah.
on the other hand, I think this could be a good story of like a really exciting like heist war film,
Right.
and we haven't really seen like a war style Star Wars film.
I think that'll be the strongest part of it, is like it'll be a nice, cool, like like you said, a movie about the rebels, and like kind of like they're saving Private Ryan.
little to no lightsabers, which actually I wouldn't
I don't
mind
think
at
there's
all.
any other than Darth Vader.
Who I don't think it's been confirmed that he's going to be in it, but
He is.
I think
He's
he is.
confirmed.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, yeah,
But it could be all of like 5 minutes that
Yeah.
he's in it, But yeah, there's no Jedi or anything like this. So we're finally seeing like the warrior, like the fighter, like the true like
Which is awesome.
normal people of the world. Yeah. But I just really kind of don't mind. Just we start 4 off, and Leia's like, here's the plans of the Death Star R2, and like that's it, and we don't need to spend all this time with it. It's the same thing how I feel with Han Solo. I don't really know that I need his backstory, because where he starts in his arc, obviously, to where he is in 7 or finishes in 7, I think is fine. So that was one of the big problems with I had with it, and they're shooting it digitally, which I don't really care for, because especially since the 77 New Hope is rough looking, and so now for me to believe that this is before it, I needed it a little more like matching in style.
I thought it looked okay. Like that
it looks
one,
nice,
that one
but
wide shot where Felicity Jones' character is Jyn Erso, like she's walking with this patrolman or whatever, like in the
hangar.
In the hangar, and they're just walking across, and like they're wearing the original uniforms from episode. I thought it looked pretty good, like with the X-wing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's from like one shot though, but it's
I mean, if in all saying that we don't necessarily need this movie to figure out what's going on, of how they got the plans, if rumors are true that Felicity Jones's character is in fact the mother of Rey,
which I would be okay with. I think that'd be pretty interesting.
then this movie's very important.
But if that's the only reason they're doing it is just to introduce her, then there's plenty of other ways you could have done that.
Kathleen Kennedy has said that Rogue One, and I think also like all the other anthology films are going to have no relation
to the main story,
to the episodic films.
Which I'm fine with.
Kenobi's not in this, is he?
No, he's not in this. If he gets his own standalone, though, I mean, here's hoping. That's the one I'm really banking on.
Yeah.
That one, I think there's a story there, because I think.
Plus, I think she would.
I just really want to
be
see
too
Ewan
old.
McGregor. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased.
No, I definitely want to see an Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan standalone movie.
He does too. He's like, "Where's my phone call?" Like, I'm waiting.
I think actually, Felicity, I think she'd be like too old. I think the character.
I was trying to figure that out. So
yeah, like I think people aren't really thinking of like how old she would be to have
here's
Rey.
the thing. Here's how I figured this out. So in Force Awakens, Rey is supposed to be like 18.
Yeah.
Right. So go back.
Oh, actually, happy birthday to Daisy Ridley today.
Yeah,
birthday,
if she's listening,
24.
Call
awesome.
me.
Yeah, really.
classy.
She's awesome. But anyway,
I would. Oh my God, I would take her on a date so hard.
so like,
Nice dinner.
I had no problem with
Maybe a
her
movie,
leading the new
Moonlight
Star Wars
Walk.
movie, because she was amazing as Rey. Like her
Yeah.
character was so cool. And so was Felicity. Like from what I saw from the thing, I know a lot of people are hating the fact that it's like seems like now women are like taking over the Star Wars universe.
It's like
it's all
who
women.
cares?
two
I don't
women
care.
out of like
I
dominated.
didn't even
males.
see it as that. Like
Me neither.
until recently that I was like, oh yeah, 2 women are the main characters for this movie. I like was totally just like, okay, there's a character. Like they both seem pretty cool. Like
we
I
just
never
see
even.
characters on this show.
That's what I'm saying. Like we don't see gender here. But so back to the timeline thing. So she's supposed to be 18, right? So she was born 12 years after Return of the Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong so far. So from New Hope to Return of the Jedi is a span of about 5 or 6 years. Okay? So let's say she has Rey. She could. Let's say she's 25 in Rogue One, right? And then 6 years later, she's 30 right after Return. Oh, but it'd have to be 12, right? So maybe she had her when she was 40, in her 40s. It could work in this universe. It could work.
I think it'd make Rogue One a lot stronger
For this movie, no. But in the universe, it could work if they showed it eventually. Not now. Is it like, by the way, I'm gonna have a daughter named Rey?
Yeah, not saying that, but I'm saying if they were like in Episode 8, like, oh, your mom was Jyn, whatever. What was her last name?
Jyn Erso.
Erso. Then I would be like, okay, that makes sense. The timeline fits with me. But if it was,
And they're both British guys. They're both British. It makes sense.
If they were just like, oh, she's also the daughter of Obi-Wan Kenobi, like Jyn, I've been like. Yay! but then it has to be a spin-off of Obi-Wan Kenobi. It has to.
Oh my God!
That would be like, okay, so he broke the Jedi code, like, and have a family and whatever, like that. You'd have to do. I got really weirdly giddy. I don't know why.
I remember thinking you were going to do that, like at least at episode 8 or 9 or something. Like you're going to do that. Oh my God! It came through.
There's a Family Guy episode, like, and like Peter would do that. Like, oh, he was like, this is like the time when I had to keep my mouth open the whole time when I was on Peter and Kelly, and like the actress is like telling a story, like, yeah, wow, like it was really funny. We're making little TIE fighters on the the thing here. You see on the audio waves, they're just little TIE fighters. So we say something. And then we say something, and then like TIE Fighter. Actually, it'd have to be say something. Say something. Say something. That's better. That's the TIE Fighter because you need that little middle piece.
Yeah.
A little bit. Anyway, digressing.
So I think, I guess I would be opposed as Felicity Jones being Ray's mom. Trying to get us back on track. But I just think I think it'd be better for this universe not to focus so much like on the potential like Skywalker family and just do
Bullshit. We need to know who Ray's parents are.
I
We
do
will.
too,
We'll
but
find
like
out
not
in
for like Felicity Jones' character. Like it'd be cool just to have her and her group of characters be like.
Yeah,
their
they
own.
No,
they have their mission and they have
they're
their own
both
thing.
British.
No,
It
no, no,
makes
no.
sense.
What he's saying
and
is-
so is Obi-Wan Kenobi. They're
What
all
not
British.
connecting
What he
this
is saying is he doesn't. If it turns out that she is her mom, he doesn't want to find out in Rogue One.
Oh.
He wants to find out.
I think it'd be better just she not related to Ray at all.
No.
I'm fine with it either way. I think if she was
like once
related,
again, it condenses the universe.
makes the world smaller.
Yes.
Yeah.
I apologize.
I would
for my
also be
outbursts.
fine if she wasn't related to anybody, which we've talked about
me too.
before. So
I'm not okay with that. My cousin is so set on her being Palpatine's daughter.
What?
that wouldn't work.
That's not gonna.
And not for like
Unless you,
logic,
like,
not for like logical reasons, but just the shock value of like.
But then that would fade away and wouldn't make any sense.
I'd rather see Snoke turn out to be the one kid that
That makes no sense.
that or that Anakin's
That
supposed
makes
to kill
that
the
actually
youngling.
makes
Skywalker, what are we
zero
gonna do?
sense.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
That is one of
that
the
kid.
worst fan theories.
I don't think it's that horrible.
I think it's
no,
so
that's,
dumb.
God's really reaching for.
Yeah.
Here's hoping. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Don't hope for anything, Jesus.
Some people thought it was like, oh, it's actually Darth Vader. He just came back, and it's like, dumb. What else you got?
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like saying it was Kylo Ren from the future, but like they've never introduced time travel before in the Star Wars universe. So
That's pretty funny. It's a picture of
I see
Mark
him.
Hamill on the back of
Like
Daisy Ridley's
Yoda.
back.
Yeah, that's funny. He's so clever.
I know he
that
is.
Mark Hamill.
He's a cool guy.
He makes me want to
Yeah.
join Twitter just to follow him. Cause
I
he's hilarious on Twitter.
would be totally down to have a beer
Well,
with
he
you, Mark
puts
Hamill.
he puts his stuff on Instagram too. I think.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you're,
yeah.
You're seeing the same thing. But like when they did the Force for Change video, and he's just like staring, and she's like, Mark. He's like, oh, sorry, I thought it was. Just
I have
supposed
dialogue
to,
in this?
Yeah, I was supposed to stare off intently or whatever. And then he like goes back to it at the end. But,
Yeah, I like his comment about the Rogue One trailer. Like I'm pretty sure I don't have any lines in this either.
yeah, I was like, good one.
Good one. He's a joker.
Yeah,
Mark
what a
Hamill.
jokester.
Ha.
That's Joker and Trickster combined. He's a jokester.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Creative.
You heard it here first,
We're
folks.
creative here in Geekcast.
We're
We
gonna
make
have this
jokes. But anyway,
hard degree for
let's
nothing.
I think we should really dive into Rogue One because we kind of keep like, oh, it'd be cool if she was his mom. No, it wouldn't be cool. But
I
we have
think we dove in a little bit.
let's just like break it down. So, Mom Mothma, Mon Mothma.
Yep.
That bitch looks like her from Return
I
of the
know.
Jedi.
It's
I'm
like-
like, I don't know if they just found the
It's
the old
funny, that was
actress
actually the most impressive thing of the trailer was just that actress.
And that lady had scenes in Episode 3 that they deleted.
she dodged the bullet with that one, but
Yeah,
I
so
think
they were
her
like,
career.
sorry we deleted your stuff. Do you want to come back? Or
Potentially
I mean,
much better movie.
I think the reason she probably was like okay with it was besides the money was because it's not George Lucas anymore and like it's a whole different company. You know what I mean? It's like a whole different thing and whatever. So, but yeah, she is like dead on. Looks like her. Like I truly believe that lady is going to grow up to be the one in Return of the
Yeah, did you
Jedi,
see
even
that-
though the timeline doesn't.
you see
make
that
any
meme
sense.
where it said like Lucasfilm just owned Throwback Thursday.
Mhm.
That was so
Yeah, but yeah, so she's in that. Finally getting some more women in here in the Star Wars sausage party, and then
Star Wars sausage party.
yeah, like there's a lot of dudes in,
okay.
sausage in Star Wars, but then Ben Matheson is like the villain.
Ben Mendelsohn, yeah.
Mendelsohn also, they're both playing him.
Diego Luna, who
A lot of people think is it Rex? Is that his name? Who's Luke's friend that has the mustache?
no,
It sounds like I know nothing about Star Wars, but
Biggs
Biggs.
with the porno mustache, which
Oh,
doesn't make any
yeah.
sense because he's
Yeah.
white and Diego Luna is Mexican.
He
so
was-
I'd believe it.
He was in Return of the Jedi.
No,
He was in New Hope.
No hope.
He didn't
He-
die
he-
though.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did.
Mm-hmm.
He also had like a much bigger part.
What?
Like, there are scenes of him
Yeah.
on Tatooine, which
That's
cut
right. They
out.
deleted most of it, and so like at the end, it kind of doesn't make sense where he's just like, "Hey, I haven't seen you since like earlier," and then it's like, "But we didn't know you saw him
Who the fuck are
earlier."
you?
Yeah, who are you? Like, I saw you 3 days ago. But anyway, a lot of people thought it was him, and I could see it. I know he,
I
is
like
Spanish, and he's not, but there's no Spanish people in space in Star Wars.
Just white people and black people.
Just white people and black people. So
And mostly white people.
and
and
British
mostly
people. British people.
white
And
British
aliens.
people.
That's pretty
and
much
aliens.
it.
Yep. And so we'll see.
We're a
And
diverse
if he's
galaxy.
not,
And a whole
fine.
bunch of furries.
A lot of furries. Big, small furries, all different kinds. But anyway, so we'll see what happens. And then going back to Ben Mendelsohn, he's like wearing like a similar outfit to Grand Moff Tarkin. A lot of people thought he was just a younger Tarkin, but he's not because he also has a cape.
It's got like
Which is
a
weird.
like a 70s pimp like collar like cape.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the cape.
I like the cape.
It's
I
not
mean,
great.
it's very operatic, which is Star Wars. But a lot of people are
Yeah.
saying that it might be Admiral Thrawn from like the old expanded universe literature, who was like this big badass admiral who was like.
But I thought it was not canon anymore, unless they're just using it as
Yeah,
a
but-
fun
but, I
name
mean,
drop.
I think we've noticed from like Force Awakens where Kylo Ren's real name is Ben Solo.
But it was Ben Kenobi.
Right, but they're just cherry picking
Right.
what they please.
Right,
since it's not
right,
canon
right, right,
anymore.
right. Which, to be honest, I feel like it was weird for Han and Leia to name their kid Ben, because it's like they didn't really have that same connection that Luke
Right.
had. So it's kind of like, what the fuck, guys? Like now, if I have a son, I
Like,
can't name him
dibs.
Ben. Yeah, like what was that? Like you can't be like, this is Ben, and then like your cousin is also named Ben. It's just kind of weird,
Mhm.
Although you have like a million cousins named Steve, right?
Yeah, everybody on my family's named Steve.
Right,
On my mom's
so-
side.
Yeah.
That's actually only text right now is my cousin Steve.
Yeah, so whatever. But what else happens in the Rogue trailer? It was very short. They
It
show
didn't
you
feel like a teaser, actually. It felt almost like a theatrical trailer because I was expecting it to be like the Force Awakens teaser, where it just showed us like images, very nostalgic images. But we did get that.
It did kind of do.
We
that.
did get some fan service, but it made sense with the story that okay, these would have to be in it
Mhm.
to make it work. So
Yeah.
like seeing like the AT-ATs like on the beach, like storming the rebels was that was the best shot for me.
Is it AT-ATs or AT-ATs?
AT-ATs.
It is.
I
okay.
say
I never
AT-ATs.
know.
Some people say AT-ATs. It depends.
Which
on
is so weird that
I
that's
think from
what
your
they-
preference.
When I was playing the Star Wars Battlefront game, I think it was like, oh, there's an AT-AT in the area.
Why would you name like this? Is a question for George Lucas, Mr. Lucas. Why do you name your vehicles stupid things like AT-AT?
So I'm George Lucas. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Because I don't know.
Oh, sir, can you speak up, sir?
Indiana Jones is based off of my dog.
Sir, I can't understand you. Can you please speak up?
You will give me
A little bit louder, sir. A little bit louder.
Just
find
keeps
you like a
getting
Diet
lower and
Coke
lower in register.
disturbing.
Sir, that's quieter, sir.
Yeah, that's not helping. What? It just starts yelling. I gotta say I don't miss George Lucas in the Star Wars. I think that
No, I mean, yeah, Disney buying Star Wars was the best thing that could
happened
be done
to
for
it.
the franchise.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
are we gonna see the Millennium Falcon in Rogue One?
I don't think there
I'm
really
not seeing
isn't
it.
really
Pretty sure
any
Mickey-
reason there
I'm pretty
to
sure
be.
Mickey Mouse is in there somewhere. I think I saw that.
Isn't
in the
that like
trailer.
a thing that they tried to like put Disney things in? Oh, or
No,
they were
it-
like
it was,
very.
it was a joke. Like the second Disney bought it, that everyone was like, "Oh, well, fuck." Now, like Pluto's gonna be like Darth Vader. Like,
Yeah, but I thought they always like try to remind you that it's like, hey, this is. a
Donald
Disney
Duck would be
movie.
Darth Vader. out of
But they
all
don't.
those.
I guess they don't really do
no,
it with the
they would be
Avengers.
Butch.
No,
They would be Butch.
no, he'd be.
Jabba the Hutt would be Butch.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Mickey Mouse would be Luke. Han would be Goofy.
I know. I feel like Goofy would be Chewie.
Why are we talking
No,
about
Pluto would be Chewie.
that? Pluto would be
Oh
Chewie.
yeah.
No, but
We got two dogs in the same universe.
Then that means
That
that
one
Mickey,
can
that,
speak
then that
and
means
one
that Mickey
can't.
would be Han. Luke would be Max. Max Goof.
Max is.
I understand who
like
Max is. So it's just so funny that Goofy's last name is Goof because he's Goofy Goof. Mr. Goof.
That was really loud. I apologize.
Well, thank you. Anyway,
We're rambling.
yeah, really, we're just like got to fill a quota of an hour. So
I think that's everything, right?
Yeah, Brent.
got 30 more seconds. We're making an hour.
Thank you a lot for listening today. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram.
YouTube, Instagram.
Got me.
We're currently working on producing 2 shorts.
projects. And lots of good stuff coming.
Join us, same geek time.
Same geek time, same.
Fuck you, Dan!
Fuck you, Dan!
No, not time yet. Wait, you wait. And we did it. We made it an hour.
Fuck you, Dan! Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. We're currently working on producing 2 shorts at the moment. 3 shorts at the moment. Yeah. We have one that's about to be released soon, one that we're casting for right now, and the third one that's in pre-production as well. So I'll be coming out hopefully within the end of the summer. Be sure to check out our friend Ryan Scher on YouTube at Lethal Llama for game commentaries. Be sure to check out our friend Seth Ban, the young poet. And also shout out to anybody who listens to Stevenson University. The Amish Project. Oh, no. It's next week, too, isn't it? Yeah, Amish Project is a school play that is at 7 o'clock on Thursdays and Fridays, and I don't know what the times are for Saturday and Sunday, but it stars Stevenson students such as Ellie Bender, Jack Rizzo, Tyler Rutherford, and Mary Beth. I'm sorry I can't think of your last name, but she was really, really good as the one Amish girl. You should definitely check it out if you have the time.
Same geek time and same geek channel. See you guys.